Ham United face a severe challenge at Upton Park from those Cup giant killing specialists, Bolton Wanderers. While Millwall would pull off one of the shocks of the night if they can keep out Nottingham Forest. Hello, good evening. Just 16 teams left in this season's Coca-Cola Cup, all very aware that victory means a place in the quarter-finals. Ian St John is with us again. Ian, before the action, a word about Brian Little's move to Villa from Leicester. The High Court today decided Brian Little could go to Selhurst Park tonight.
Well, I think Brian Little has lost a lot of credibility within the game, Bob, for doing that, because to walk out on Leicester City, who have been very good to him, as you well know, taking him from Darlington, and then within days take his backroom staff with him from Leicester and leave them totally bankrupt of staff and join Aston Villa. I think, as I say, you know, Brian has lost a lot of credibility, and he was beginning to make a real name for himself. So we're all disappointed, I think, in what Brian Little did.
OK, thank you, Ian. Well, we stay with Brian Little because our first stop tonight is Selhurst Park, where the holders of the Coca-Cola Cup, Villa, will need all the inspiration of their new manager that he can provide to withstand a Crystal Palace side who are now finding their feet nicely in the Premiership. Your commentator is Brian Moore.
Well, a pleasant task there for the new Aston Villa manager, Brian Little, but he's had a past few days that he won't forget in a hurry. His managerial switch, of course, even had a flirtation with the High Court today. He says today alone has been more like 3 weeks. He's also had to pick a side for this important Coca-Cola Cup tie without the suspended Andy Townsend. Gary Parker will again have an important role in the midfield for Villa. Dwight York returns there, and there's a second game of the season for David Farrell. He'll play down the left. Palace are much more settled. One defeat only in the last 7 games. It's the side that drew here with Southampton at the weekend. Their good form based on a solid defence, where the keeper Nigel Martin and the centre-backs Richard Shaw and Chris Coleman have been absolutely outstanding. 5 clean sheets in the last 7 games bear testimony to that. Our referee tonight is Gary Willard from Worthing in Sussex. So for 90 minutes, Villa can forget all the events off the field. There's a real job to be done here in defence of the trophy Ron Atkinson's side won at Wembley last spring when they beat Manchester United in the final of the Coca-Cola Cup. They're playing tonight against a form team with this good recent form by Palace. 5 wins in the last 7 games, only 1 defeat. But here's Dalian Atkinson now for Villa in this change strip of theirs. Green and black with red stripes, and a goal kick for Nigel Martin and Crystal Palace. Alan Smith absolutely delighted with the side's recent form after a really shaky start on their return to the Premiership. An accidental tumble there. Armstrong and Yogu. A free kick given to Palace. That's a good shot! Oh, a fabulous shot! Can Palace finish it off? Dean Gordon. What a tremendous shot that was. And a really acrobatic piece of goalkeeping by Bosnich. Just managed to turn the ball onto the post. And Palace just couldn't get anybody up quickly enough for the simple tap-in. A great piece of keeping. And Villa get it away. The corner comes in. And Bosnich is a simpler one this time. Well, Dean Gordon, 2 stunning goals already this season, and very nearly a third with a fantastic shot. Dwight York, missed the last couple of games. Here comes Dean Gordon. Now can Armstrong get on the end of this? It was a good header, hitting it back from where it's come, and it's always difficult for keepers. But Gordon did well again. A third high cross in. Armstrong knocking it back across the Villa goal, but just wide of the far post. Dalian Atkinson getting up a real head of steam here. Lays it for David Farrell. Crossed in by him to Saunders. Crossed it in superbly, and somehow Palace kept it out. Played in nicely there, and Saunders in fact whipped that in from an impossible angle against the post. So the woodwork hit twice here by Saunders there, and the thundering drive earlier pushed onto the post from Gordon by Bosnich. Armstrong playing it in towards the deep end. Oh my goodness! Bosnich very nearly misjudged that one. You'd have to ask Chris Armstrong whether he meant that as a shot or whether that was a cross that was suddenly became a shot. But it certainly caused Bosnich problems and very nearly crept in. Here's the corner. Armstrong trying to get to it. Again easier this time for Bosnich. Now, was that a cross or was it a shot? It very nearly finished in the back of the net, that's for sure. Oh, a bad kick out by Bosnich. Can Armstrong, well, he's brought down by Yogyu. What will he get for this? Whether he was the last defender or not. My feeling was that Earl Barrett was covering, but certainly is at least a yellow card. Phil King protesting. It's a red card. He's been sent off. Well, it was a bit of a mistake in the first place that suddenly put Armstrong in possession. Yogyu then. Now, the feeling could be that there was a Villa player who was in the picture there, who probably was covering, and I think Villa fans might well have a feeling there's some justification that that sending off is a very harsh one. Humphrey. Saunders knocking it down for Houghton. York playing it in again. Atkinson! A wonderful goal! What a strike by Dalian Atkinson. And the Villa fans, worried that their side were down to 10 men, certainly have plenty to cheer now. Taken superbly and absolutely giving Nigel Martin not a glimmer of a chance. Played in by Dwight York, smacked on the half volley by Dalian Atkinson. 1-0 Villa. That's a real test for both of them here tonight. For Brian Little's side, down to 10 men, can they hang on to the lead? And Alan Smith's side will certainly want to overcome the embarrassment of falling to 10 men. Dalian Atkinson is struggling and will go off, and Fenton will come on. So Graham Fenton on for Aston Villa. Southgate, Dean Gordon, the half-time whistle. Villa down to 10 men, but going in at the interval, leading with a goal from Dalian Atkinson, and what a good one it was. Face a second half then that is full of possibilities. Can Villa hold on with 10 men? Can Palace come back and get back into this Coca-Cola Cup tie? 1-0 to Villa is the half-time situation. So Villa get the second half underway. Get the feeling when this competition comes round, Villa just sniff the air. They've got such a good record. They're holders. They were the first winners in 1961, and they've won it 3 times since then. There's Armstrong. Sulako's made a good break, and Sulako! My goodness! He was just a whisker away from getting a really dramatic equaliser for Palace right at the start of the second half. Great run by Armstrong and a great cross too. Palace's throw, he looks up, there's his cross, there's the sliding Sulako, missing it by a whisker. King gets it clear. Up Up towards Chris Armstrong, but it's a throw to Crystal Palace. They're certainly looking to pile the pressure onto 10-man Aston Villa in the second half. King bringing down Armstrong. More of an untidy tumble than anything else, but worthy of a free kick. Salako and Newman over it. The odds are on Salako. Crossing it in! And a goal there for Chris Armstrong. 1-1. A great free kick by Salako. And Armstrong with a glancing header. And the delight of Chris Coleman there in the goal as Palace bring it back to 1-1. There's the free kick. There's the number 9's glancing header, inch perfect. What a good shot. Armstrong getting it on. Salako, the flag has stayed down. Still with Salako. Oh, a terrible miss by Armstrong. He looks around. Salako can't believe it. Salako thought about a shot himself and then saw Armstrong beautifully placed on the other side of the 6-yard area. He looks up there, picks out Armstrong, and that's what happens. What a crazy game it is. A wonderful header from Armstrong a moment ago and a simple tap in for number 2, and he misses that one. Alan Smith wanting more effort. He must be pleased though with the way Palace have come out in this second half. Well, it's what you might call a mixed night for him. Not sure actually they're saying more effort. He might well have been saying to Chris Armstrong, get your head up. Here's Armstrong, looking to see if he can play anybody in. And his shot was just wide of the target, and it was a good shot on the turn. Struck with some venom. McGrath. There's Newman. Priest touching it back. Barry touching it forward. Armstrong on the run again. Salako up with him. Oh, he's done well. He's got away from Barrett. The cross comes in! It's Southgate! And it's 2-1 to Palace. Well, the manager looks on with pleasure, I would think. Chris Armstrong kept his head up. He's had his problems with that miss earlier on in this half, but he outwitted Earl Barrett here. And Southgate made a wonderful late run to arrive there to make it 2-1 Palace. Foul by Coleman. Well, these are situations that have to be watched very closely by Palace, and they've got everybody except Chris Armstrong back. Oh, my goodness, the shot by Phil King that somehow was squeezed wide by Nigel Martin. That came through a crowd of players. He could only have seen that at the last split second. Not exactly by the Palace defence, and a great piece of goalkeeping there by Nigel Martin. Parker with the corner. Fenton playing it for King. Dinked in again by him, too high. Oh, that might have gone anywhere. Good ball actually played there by Parker, but in the end it profited Villa not a bit. Houghton playing it in. This should be Martin's ball, and he's lost it, and it's hooked away by Southgate. But it's gone to Barry. Sending Armstrong down that right flank again. Barry feeds some lovely balls in there. That wasn't quite as good this time by Armstrong. You get the feeling there still have to be goals in this game. It's 2-1 to Palace. Gordon hitting it long. Armstrong on the far side. It's another corner. It's a super cup tie, with good football coming from both sides. Palace leading 2-1. Priest and Barry in there. Armstrong waiting to launch himself, so too is Coleman. It's Coleman tried to get a header on that one. Southgate has made it free. And that's a goal that might well put Crystal Palace into the quarter-finals. They're making a habit of this, and they now lead 3-1. 3 or 4 Villa players going for it, but nobody guarding that post. And Southgate turning it in without great power, but with great accuracy. And Palace go 3-1 up. Gareth Southgate's getting his second of the night. Oh, that could be trouble. And in the end, Saunders couldn't get possession, but it's a dangerous ball played out by Nigel Martin then. And with a couple of minutes to go in a cup tie like this, I would have thought the safest thing was to do just what he's going to do now. Armstrong. Oh, super goal! 4-1. Sheer strength and persistence there. And a whiplash finish at the end of it all as Villa floundered. 4-1 Palace, and there's no holding them now. York was beaten, and so was Bosnich. The ball finds the net again, and Palace are home and dry. Final whistle. The best night of the season for Crystal Palace. No question of that. 4-1 winners here. A match really with 2 turning points. The sending off of Biocchio, which really put Villa back on their heels, though they went ahead through Atkinson. And then Armstrong struck right at the start of the second half, and that was the second turning point. The Palace blitz in the first 15 minutes when they turned the game around and scored twice, and then carried on with an excellent second half performance to score 2 after that. Armstrong 2 and Southgate 2, the scorers for Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace 4, Aston Villa 1.
Was there a worry in your mind at some stage that the 10 men might do you?
Well, there was in actual fact, because I thought we dominated the game throughout, and they only had the one chance in the first half, which wasn't even a chance really, and Daniel Atkinson finished it superbly. And you do see the 10 men come through so often.
But in the end, it was nothing short of a comprehensive win for you.
Yeah, I think probably the extra man told, their legs started to go a wee bit, and this is a big competition for us. It's realistically our only chance of winning something this season, and all the boys were keyed up for it.
Your manager said that if you won this one, he reckoned you'd go all the way. What do you reckon to that?
Well, I don't see why not. A lot of the big sides are out. If we get a favourable draw in the next round, we're quarter-finals, 2 games from Wembley, and it means an awful lot to the boys in there.
I'm not making any excuses. I think I'd like to think I could have had more input into the side and into how we've prepared for this game, and even the game at Sunday, even though that was quick. I'd like to think I could have done more in my own preparation with the guys. But I'm not making excuses. The situation is there. I would like it to go away. I've said that on many occasions. I've said that privately and publicly. Hopefully it will, and hopefully, as I said before the game, I can get on with what is a very hard job and working hard to try and do something constructive and to be successful there.
Well, Ian, earlier you had your say about Brian Little, but really the sending off of Echiog proved crucial for the holders, didn't it?
Well, there's always turning points in games, and probably that one, Bob, was a turning point. And it's one of those incidents that, again, will have people talking. We'll see here now when the ball is very badly cleared by the goalkeeper there. That was ridiculous. But watch here now. Look for the cover player at the top of your picture. Would he have got round in time to get a tackle in? I don't think he would have done. I think the forward would have had the shot off before he came round there, Bob.
You're not saying that because it's Paul McGrath and he's getting on a bit aged.
I'll tell him what you said. No.
I think he might have got there, you see. That's one of those crucial ones, isn't it? I think he might have been there.
This is the interpretation some referees have. They will say, well, the cover player would have got the tackle in, wouldn't have got the tackle in, and then make a decision whether it's a yellow card or a red card. You may say he was unlucky. Say, well, That's the way the interpretations of some referees.
In the end, it was conclusive. 2 goals
Yes.
to Chris Armstrong, who's had a little bit of a dry patch. He could have got 3 or 4. He missed an absolute sitter as well.
He
but
missed a barrel load, didn't he, really? And I mean, clear-cut chances. I like Armstrong. I've always said that. I think he's a terrific player. And as you say, he's been going through a little dry spell. You know, in fact, he's only scored 4 goals this season so far, so up to this point. So it was nice for him to get a couple at least on the night. This is the final goal now. He shrugs off Dwight York there. Too much strength for Dwight. But again, you see, that's a case of a forward back in a defensive position. And as you well know, once forwards get back there, I mean, they're useless. So he just shoves them off there and tucks it away in the corner.
Alan Smith's doing a terrific job at Palace, I think. Could they have a run in this?
Well, I mean, here we are, Bob, down to quarter-final, so they, you know, see who they pull out the hat tomorrow morning. But I do like the way Palace play, yes.
Yeah. Thanks, Ian. Well, now to Highbury, still reeling from the Paul Merson drugs revelations, and where on the field the Arsenal team are currently in a very mediocre patch of form in the Premiership. Certainly not the best of times to face a Sheffield Wednesday side who have one thing only on their minds, and that's to avenge their 2-1 defeat at the hands of Arsenal in the final the season before last. Commentary this time from Chris McMenemy and a slightly croaky John Helm.
It's a lovely night for football in one of Europe's most opulent stadiums, and let's straight away get into tonight's teams. Starting with Sheffield Wednesday, no Des Walker, he's suspended, and again no Hurst, no Waddle and no Mark Bright, suffering from an Achilles problem which he hopes will have cleared by the weekend. Peter Atherton covers for Walker, with Ian Taylor coming in on the right side of midfield. The versatile Chris Bart-Williams, a scorer in both previous rounds, has a striking role tonight alongside Gordon Watson. Arsenal too have their problems, but Tony Adams postpones an Achilles tendon operation to play tonight, and one Scandinavian international, Sweden's World Cup star Stefan Schwarz, replaces another, Denmark's John Jensen. Kevin Campbell is back in attack to partner Ian Wright. The prolific Wright tormented Wednesday in the Wembley finals and scored the winning goals in both league meetings last season. Referee Martin Bodenham from Lewin, Cornwall, was last here when Villa beat Arsenal 2-1 last season, but if Wednesday fans think that's a good omen, I'd better warn them. The last time he took Wednesday, they lost 5-0 to Manchester United. It's a very colourful scene. Wednesday in the blue and white stripes, obviously. Arsenal in perhaps the most famous club strip in the world. They're red and white, the Gunners, and here straight away is Gordon Watson for Wednesday. Bold. Well, we were talking just before the kick-off. We said there didn't look to be many in, but strangely, they all appeared 2 or 3 minutes before kick-off, and there now does look to be quite a good crowd here. Should be easy enough for Dixon this, as it were. Now McGoldrick. Back from Alan Smith. Not the best directed past that one from McGoldrick, and it enables Sheridan to move forward. He's onside here. Great chance for Wednesday. Sees past Seaman Bart-Williams. Oh, what a miss. And what a shame for Sheffield Wednesday. Bart-Williams had timed the run to perfection. Sheridan found him in the space. After he got past Seaman, you really fancied him.
You've got to say that's a bad miss. He's done all the hard work here. Drew the keeper, took it round him. It's just underneath his foot there. The last moment just got stuck underneath his foot. But you've got to say that's a poor miss from a good player.
Watson, it was a bit short, and it's enabled Adams to knock one in. He was quickly up there. Didn't look laboured that time. Watson doing well to bring the ball down into the path of Sinton. Space down the left to feed Nolan in maybe. And Sinton does find Nolan. It was a brilliant ball, and this must be a goal surely for Wednesday. Cleared off the line, and I don't think Ian Taylor can believe it. That looked an absolute certainty of a goal.
Well, if ever a team deserved a goal for a bit of good football, it was here. Great ball inside the fullback, wonderful first-time ball across the box, and doesn't seem to do well. He just gets a body in the way of the ball, and the defender clears it. But a great chance through some very good football.
Smith, McGoldrick held back. Just so he wasn't offside, only right in the middle. Here goes Alan Smith. That's wayward. Petreski was come across from right to left. Wrested down by Watson. Sheridan, there's a great break on here. He's got 2 inside. Sheridan aims to tuck it in. Bart-Williams, he's missed the target again. Well, he's had two gilt-edged opportunities to score and has frittered them both.
Another good break from the middle. A ball slipped across. Is there a bobble here? No bobble. He's just hit it over the top.
High from Seaman. Campbell's there. Sheridan to Watson. Goldrick stretching and then taking it back from Dixon. Here goes Morrow. Trying to contrive the space for the shot. What a goal! Well, he's really got it in for Sheffield Wednesday, this fella. Oh, extraordinary. 2 goals in his career in this country, both against Sheffield Wednesday. That was a better one than the one at Wembley.
Well, he's finished it ever so well, but look at the defending here from Sheffield Wednesday. Kevin Pressman's gone absolutely livid. And I think he should as well, because he's gone through 4 or 5 challenges there. The finish is excellent, but should he have got there in the first place? He goes one way, twists. Sheridan's not round to cover. He gets past Sheridan, and he's now got the space to clip it, and he bends it over the top of Pressman.
The goal coming right on the half-hour mark, and how Wednesday must be ruining those 3 chances that they've squandered. How Wednesday could do with an equaliser before the break. They've 14 minutes left in which to get one. Sinton's calling for the ball out on the left. Here goes Bart Williams. He's still there, Bart Williams. Here's Sinton, it could be. Misses by a foot. 4 good chances missed. They are just not getting it right inside the 6-yard box.
The staff were holding their heads on the bench as this didn't go in. Another chance. Bart Williams did well to get the ball down to Sinton, but he's pulled it wide from, again, a great position. He's around about the penalty spot when he hits it. No more than 12 yards out, and the defender did well to get across him, but should hit the target.
Campbell did well to close Taylor down there. Just seemed to amble a little bit. And I think he's getting a bit of a volley, is Ian Taylor, from Richie Barker. I saw him come darting to the touchline to give him a bit of a rocket. Here come Arsenal, wanting a second goal. He might get one as well. Wright waiting, scores! Typical Ian Wright, but how much time did they want to give him? You cannot give a player like Ian Wright all that time inside the penalty area. The ball was in the air an eternity.
Well, again, you've got to say the finish, the technical finish was great, but look at the time the ball's in the air. 3-4 defenders around, nobody gets a foot across, and it ends up in the back of the net. Predictable from Ian Wright, but look at the defending. How long is that ball in the air? It's coming down, it's coming down. Still nobody gets a foot across. Ian Taylor was the closest, and it's 2-0.
Ooh, Pressman. Oh, dearie me. He's just managed to retrieve himself from the most acute embarrassment of his career. That would have been a nightmare for him.
Well, Kevin Pressman's predominantly left-footed, and the ball's knocked onto his right foot, and his first touch isn't as good on that side, as you can see, and he does ever so well to recover here, but maybe he should have took a chance and swung the right foot.
Sheridan. Now Wednesday move forward together as a unit. It's like the charge of the Light Brigade. Almost too many of them. They got in each other's way. Sheridan nicks it through. Here's a great chance now for Taylor, and he's unable to take it. And Wednesday continue to miss the chances that they're creating. Away goes McGoldrick. Smith now. He's going to get it through. McGoldrick's onside. Wright's across goal. McGoldrick might try to do it all himself. He does, and a thrilling save from Pressman.
You see 3 players around the ball, 1 man free for Aston. He pushes it forward, he carries on, looking across the goal. Look at Ian Wright, he's on his own, he wants the square ball, elects to shoot, and Pressman does well to get a hand to it.
And it's Bart Williams. Watson nicking it in here for Petrescu. Petrescu wins a corner. It's 50 today. Happy birthday, George. It looks like being a happy one. David Seaman is the one in trouble. I saw him holding his side a couple of minutes ago, and I think he probably thought he might just make it through to half-time, but not so. And the England goalkeeper goes off to a round of applause. He's given a brave display tonight, and it gives a chance to the summer signing from Bournemouth for £400,000, Vince Barton. Wednesday have got to get this ball in. Oh, it didn't work out for them. Atherton. Nolan. Up towards Watson, and here's a first chance for Bartram. He's made a mess of it, and Taylor might well have made it a very nervous start for Vince Bartram.
Well, something tells you that the luck is on Arsenal's side tonight when a punch like that falls to a man and he then gets a block on.
Half-time at Highbury, not a good half for Sheffield Wednesday. Stephen Morrow has repeated his Coca-Cola goal against Sheffield Wednesday, and the 25th League Cup goal of Ian Wright's career give us a half-time scoreline here of Arsenal 2, Sheffield Wednesday 0. Ask ahead in the next 45 minutes if they're to erase the memory of the fact that they've not won on this ground for 32 years. 2 down, and already Campbell's going to get inside the penalty area. Trying to turn inside Petrescu. Morrow for Winterburn. Headed out as far as Stefan Schwartz, who hasn't had a big influence on the game, to be fair. Dispossessed by Sheridan. Watson turning bold nicely, but won back by Morrow, or rather given to Morrow. Smith from Adams. Wright instinctively tries to play McGoldrick in. It was a good ball, and they cross, seeks out Wright again, and has to be put behind by Atherton. Sheffield Wednesday already in trouble. Well, he's got problems tonight, hasn't he, Trevor Francis? Well, I don't know worry Sheffield Wednesday fans, but Arsenal haven't conceded a goal yet in this competition so far this season. They beat Hartlepool 5-0 and 2-0, and Oldham 2-0 after a goalless draw. And they're 2-0 up now, and very much on the attack here with Alan Smith. Oh, great ball in, here's Wright! Fabulous bit of football there, stemming from Alan Smith's turn and cross, and highlighted by Ian Wright's header, and a great save.
Yeah, tremendous deep cross by Alan Smith there, and trying to get power on it, but Pressman does well to his right, but great link-up play between Campbell initially, Smith, and then Ian Wright.
McGoldrick, Smith, McGoldrick, 2 in the middle waiting, McGoldrick. Oh, good bit of trickery from him, and a save again from Pressman from Kevin Campbell this time.
Yes, does ever so well, holds the ball till the time's right, clips the ball in. Good connection by Campbell, but again doesn't really trouble Pressman.
And he's hobbling off. Well, that might present some relief for Wednesday. Arsenal down to 10 men for the minute. Still plenty of good movement from Wednesday, and Taylor just delayed his run there. If he'd have gone a second or two earlier, he might have got something. It's going to be a Wednesday free kick here in a good position. And now it's Winterburn who looks to be in trouble. For a second. And the Wednesday fans there didn't like that. Ian Wright's back on, by the way, just before this free kick from Sheridan. Short, Petrescu hits it. Oh, and a fine save by Bartram. It was sneaking inside the left upright. Well struck by the Romanian, and well saved by Bartram.
A touch of class from Petrescu. Doesn't just blast it, picks his spot, but Bartram's equal to it.
Here's a good cross in, and there's the header, flicked over by Bartram. Well, he can do no wrong now. Ian Taylor for the second time a shake of the head and says, how did it stay out?
First clear chance for Sheffield Wednesday in this second half. A great ball with pace whipped into the box. Taylor does well to get a touch on it, and what a good save from the standing goalkeeper.
Keown loses it this time. Here goes Ryan Jones. Now Wednesday do have plenty of people up there. Bart Williams, Sheridan sliding it down for Petrescu here. The cross is a deep one. Well, that's incredible. Graham White's effort kept out on the line by Lee Dixon. It looked a certain goal again there for Wednesday, and it's just not happening for them. And now it finally goes over from Bart Williams, and now it's Graham Hyde's turn to look in disbelief.
Well, he can't believe it. Neither can the rest of the team. It just sums up possibly the misfortune they've had on the night here. Great far post ball, takes all the defenders out of the game. Good connection with the header, and you've got to say that's a great defending position from Lee Dixon.
I don't know why George Graham's shaking his head. He should be happy enough with the result. Some Arsenal players have had very adverse criticism over the past week or so, but George Graham has had the perfect birthday present for them. Trevor Francis goes away there, though, knowing that he's got more problems. The only thing open to Sheffield Wednesday this season now is the FA Cup. 2 first-half goals from Steve Morrow and Ian Wright have consigned Sheffield Wednesday to another defeat against their bogey side. Arsenal 2, Sheffield Wednesday 0. George, it all turned out right in the end, but it could have been a very different story, that one.
Yeah, I mean, the first quarter, now 20 minutes, they had some tremendous chances. And when you're that much on top, you get the chances, you don't take them, it worries you. And I was delighted after 20 minutes still to be in the game. But after that, we scored a couple. The game actually could have finished about 7-5 or 6-4. Against the Sheffield Wednesday, normally there's very few chances. Tonight it was completely different. There was lots of chances by both teams.
A very nice birthday present for you at the end of a difficult week for the club.
Yeah, we've been in the media, in front of the media quite a bit. But we've answered, we answered in the way we normally answer, We group together, keep it in-house. We come out, as a unit. Great camaraderie, great team spirit, and over the last 2 games it showed that up.
Well, George was very honest there, wasn't he,
Oh,
Ian?
yeah.
And his 50th birthday presents really came early on when Wednesday missed the chances that he mentioned. They missed 2 or 3, didn't they?
Well, 2 or 3. I mean, they must have missed, seriously, 6 good chances.
In the whole of the game?
In the whole of the game,
Yeah.
in all context of the
But
game.
when it was 0-0, they missed 2 or 3, didn't they?
I mean, Arsenal, you have to say we're very fortunate. I won't use the word lucky. They were very fortunate early on in the game. Because on Wednesday, the team that they are, they knock the ball around, precision passing, good movement, and they got themselves, Pat Williams here, goes round the keeper. Now you think, well, there you are, 1-0, bang, and he goes and hits the side net.
Been driven wide a little bit there.
But Bob, I mean, I know he's driven wide a little bit, and you've got to give the goalkeeper credit for not doing anything rash in that position, but from there, surely to goodness, he's got to get it in. Now this was a great save. This was a super save, wasn't it? Taylor on the back post there, just going to knock it in. Wonderful.
But Arsenal had lots of chances, as George said, 6 or 7, and what a goal from Steve Morrow. It's only his second in about 7 years.
Second in 7 years. Lovely skill ball, wasn't it? How he turned using the outside of the foot, turned everybody, and then just sort of bent it around the top corner.
And of course, he's the man who got the winner in the league in the Coca-Cola final 2 years ago.
That's right. Now, they'll be disappointed Wednesday with this goal because, it was mentioned in the commentary there that Ian Wright had a lot of time here. When the ball's up in there, the defenders have got to attack the ball. They've got to be out there and get it. Now he's watching as he can't believe his luck. Down it comes, and he volleys it. I mean, surely he would have to have gone and headed it under a little bit of pressure. But there you go, bad defending by the Wednesday, and they can't score themselves. They're missing all the strikers.
I noticed in George's quotes afterwards, he said it's been his most difficult time since they lost to Benfica in the European Cup 2 or 3 seasons back, and that's obviously because of the morale and people getting at them. The league form's not been good.
Well, there's lots of things going against Arsenal at the moment, but they're a gutsy team, aren't they? And I think they'll gel together.
But there was some good football in that game, wasn't there?
Oh, lovely
really
football.
Good,
I thoroughly enjoyed it. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, 6-6, 7-7 it could have been. Yeah. Now then, any cup tie between West Ham United and Bolton Wanderers is sure to revive memories of the famous meeting between the 2 clubs in Wembley's first great occasion back in 1923. 71 years on, it's First Division Bolton who have built up a bit of a reputation for upsetting the odds. So a tough test for the Hammers, who have Alvin Martin, Martin Allen and Tim Breaker out injured, and Don Hutchison suspended. So Dutchman Uran Borry gets his first game of the season, and Matthew Rush is preferred to Mike Marsh. Bolton keep faith with Jason McAteer, Alan Stubbs and John McGinley, who returned to the side last Saturday. Gary Bloom is the commentator.
Moncur. Dix joining the attack now. Bishop now for West Ham United. Only a couple of feet away. But this is stirring into quite a cup tie. Ian Bishop had that meaty shot on goal. He whacked it in from about 25 yards. Thompson now. Looking at Petterlein and Thompson again. Well, the intent was clear. Pick out John McGinley, who drifted into the inside right channel, and still little to choose between the two teams. Probably West Ham have enjoyed the greatest share of midfield supremacy in the opening quarter of an hour. So, free kick to Bolton. Coleman's up inside the penalty area. This one from Miklosko's under pressure from Patalainen, and West Ham were looking to the referee to award them a free kick, and Bolton have scored through John McGinley. Now, was there a foul on the goalkeeper as Patalainen challenged Ludek Miklosko? The West Ham goalkeeper certainly seemed impeded, but it dropped right in front of John McGinley, who scores his 11th of the season. Dix twisting away from Snakers into Bishop. Bishop looking for Bora on the back post. Brannigan's lost it, and Matty Holmes can't force the ball in. That was a really muscular header by the Dutchman, Jeroen Bora, and Brannigan just couldn't hang on to the ball. Now, can Dix find a path to goal? Stubbs heads it down towards Rush. Sure. Oh, well-timed volley by Matthew Rush. It's the closest West Ham have come to a goal in 35 minutes of football. Phillips can keep the ball alive and then pick out Stubbs. McGinley all the way through to David Lee once again, chief tormentor of West Ham. Patalainen, McGinley! Oh, it was an audacious attempt on goal. It almost crept in at the corner. Patalainen hung in the air and created that opening for McGinley. Now Coleman could be caught out of position here. Cottee rolled in towards Morley with his first significant touch since coming on as a substitute. Rush with a cross. Oh, and a diving header by Bora is well wide of the target. It was a wonderful ball in here by Rush, and Bora should have scored. Lee. Patalainen tried to find McGinley. Here comes Thompson. It took a deflection and almost ran into the path of Patalainen. Bolton is so dangerous on the counter thrust. That opportunity was presented to them by Adrian Whitbread. So Coleman is up on the near post to cause maximum problems for West Ham. And Miklosko once again has come off his line and not got the ball. This is Lee, and it's 2-0. It could be the punch which sends Bolton through to the 5th round. Again, it was a goalkeeping mistake by Miklosko. He came off his line. It was steered into the path of Lee. And will it go down as an own goal? I think Lee will claim it. Morley. Cottee! He's through and he's missed it. Oh, he snatched hungrily at the chance. This really was a wasteful opportunity for Tony Cottee. Snakers. He's past Monk. Oh, dear me. What was Julian Dix thinking about? A two-footed wild lunge brings Julian Dix his customary yellow card. Too many dissenting voices when Paul Durkin showed Dix the yellow card. Thompson takes the free kick. And a solid header by Patalainen is held by Ludek Miklosko. appeared to be a handball there by Julian Dix. What on earth was he thinking about? What a bizarre incident as Julian Dix rose to get the ball, his left arm shot up, and he quite literally is handed Bolton a penalty. It was his right hand, in fact. McGinley makes it 3. Bolton are heading to the last 8 of the Coca-Cola Cup. In off the post, but McGinley picks up his second goal of the game. Dix. Snake is back on his feet as Bishop tries to find a path to goal. Cottee! He's got one at last. It might come too late, but Cottee pulls a goal back for West Ham United with 10 minutes remaining. Lovely flick on by Bora, and there was Cottee to just flick the ball in.
They finished 3-1 to Bolton. They've done it again. A 6th big scalp for them. And Bruce Rioch still unhappy.
Well, but isn't it amazing, you know, that a club get, you know, the scent of cups in the nostrils, and they're fantastic, Bolton. You know, they knock all the big boys down. But you have to say West Ham will be very disappointed with that result, really.
Have you got any idea how Julian Dix stayed on the field?
Well, the tackle that he got booked for was a kamikaze job. I thought he would have gone for that one. But then he handled the ball for the penalty kick, which deliberate handball. Is that not a yellow card?
I think he's lucky to stay.
Well, I would
and
think
that's
so,
being
yes.
very kind to him here. Right, 5 more 4th round ties to round up now with Gabriel Clark.
Millwall, 5th from bottom in Division 1, went to Nottingham Forest, 5th in the Premiership. But Forest were dealt a blow when their former Millwall centre-half, Colin Cooper, was forced off injured early on. And his old team went on to make the most of it. Here's Alan Parry.
Stevens, the Millwall captain, one of their great stalwarts, around the penalty spot for the free kick. Dave Mitchell just behind him. Oh, and it's gone straight in. What a remarkable goal. Greg Berry has given Millwall the lead. Crossley stunned. Those Millwall supporters cannot believe the start their team have made here. The merest of touches, and Berry has given Millwall a shot lead. Beard. There's more shape and pattern to the Millwall play at the moment than Nottingham Forest's. In fairness to Forest, they have been disrupted by those early injuries. And suddenly the ball is presented to Berry, who could make it number 2, and has done so. Sheffield's mistake, and Berry accepts the gift, and Millwall lead 2-0. Phillips has got forward on the left. And it's a good-looking cross too, and it's a tremendous header, and it's in by Lee. No, it isn't, it's kept out. Amazing. How on earth did that not go in? It still could. Collymore, and the Millwall goal remains intact in the most incredible fashion. How on earth did Forest not pull a goal back here? Phillips set up all the mayhem. Wone with the header against the underside of the bar. Look where Keller was there, and that looked as though it might well have gone in, but somehow or other Keller managed to scoop it away.
2-0, it's the 6th straight game Forest have failed to score in, but what a great win for Mick McCarthy, who's been under a bit of pressure this season.
I think the timing of that result is superb tonight. Having lost 3 games going into it, and we're 5th bottom of the league, we're not enjoying the best of luck in the league. It's a clean sheet as well, so the timing of it would suggest it's the best result for a long time.
What an anniversary for Ian Rush, making his 600th Liverpool appearance. Here's Rob Palmer.
Now Fowler. Back to Rush. Good shot from Rush. Oh! Ian Rush! The name says it all. Eat your heart out, Shearer and Sutton. Only one thing on
Ian Rush's mind when the ball came to him. To find the back of the net, and that was sweet. Scales header. The Blackburn defenders look up for the flag. There isn't one. Rush is going for goal. Rush has found goal. Ian Rush, scorer supreme. Give him a chance, it'll give you a goal. Thornaby. Looking for Rush. He's looking for a hat-trick. Will he get it? Oh, yes he will. A gift goal after 2 stunners for Ian Rush, and he's edging towards a League Cup scoring record. And Mark Newell had the most impossible of tasks to come on and try and impress the manager, and the rest of his teammates are so low. But they've got a consolation goal. Chris Sutton, his 17th goal of the season, and to strikers all goals mean an awful lot. But a certain empty feeling inside the Blackburn players. No histrionics from Chris Sutton.
The First Division's basement club, Notts County conquerors of Spurs and Ossie Ardiles, couldn't scale those heights again. 43 seconds in at Carrow Road, Darren Eadie puts Norwich ahead. It was enough to win it. Injuries cost Kevin Keegan 10 first-team players for Newcastle's tie at Manchester City, but it didn't look like too much of a crisis at Main Road. 2 of the call-ups combined early on. Alan Nielsen headed on, and Mike Jeffrey, signed from Doncaster last year, scored his first Newcastle goal. It was enough for an hour. Pavel Cernicek had been outstanding, but he could do little to stop Uwe Rosler on as sub. The Germans are real favourites with the City fans these days. His 6th of the season means a replay in the Northeast in 3 weeks' time. The former Manchester City midfielder Steve McMahon took charge of his first game as Swindon Town's new player manager. His motivational skills had worked the trick inside 10 minutes. Jan Fjortoft put Swindon ahead. After their impressive win at Wolves on Sunday, Derby were the favourites to make the last 8. They were level by half-time. Young Mark Stallard followed up his first goal for the club at Molineux with another. McMahon, watching from the bench, saw his side hang on for long spells after that, but a change of manager can sometimes mean a change of luck. With 6 minutes left, Fjortoft won it. It's a real touch of class from the Norwegian international, and a great start for McMahon. So these are tonight's results from the Coca-Cola Cup 4th round. Arsenal 2, Sheffield Wednesday 0, Blackburn 1, Liverpool 3, Crystal Palace 4, Aston Villa 1, Manchester City 1, Newcastle United 1, Norwich City 1, Notts County 0, Nottingham Forest 0, Millwall 2, Swindon 2, Derby 1, West Ham 1, Bolton 3. One game in the Ensley League Division 1, Portsmouth 0, Stoke 1. The win takes Stoke into 10th position. In the Auto Windscreen Shield Northern Section's second leg, Huddersfield 3, Lincoln 2. Huddersfield made history by becoming the first side to win with a sudden death goal early in extra time. In the Scottish Premier League Division, Hibernian 1, Celtic 1. And finally, a reminder, you can see the draw for the quarter-finals of the Coca-Cola Cup live tomorrow morning on GMTV with the Saint at 7:20.
Well, 3 First Division teams in that draw tomorrow morning, and Millwall, Ian, one of the results of the night. We were unable to do them real justice there, but it was a great performance.
I think it was a super performance. You know, the way things have been going in the league, to go up to Forest, albeit Forest are not playing too well at the moment, they're in a bit of a bad run, but to go there and win 2-0, terrific for Big Mick.
Now then, a great win obviously for your old club Liverpool at Blackburn. And there was an incident that we didn't see in that game, supposedly between 2 really good friends.
Well, all I can say with friends like this, who needs enemies? No, it was Shearer and Ruddock, who were big pals down at Southampton.
And with England.
And with England. Watch them here. And I think here Ruddock stamps on his leg when Shearer fell. And that's what incensed Shearer. Now, he got up, and, you know, if we're giving red cards and yellow cards, what are we getting for strangling people? Because, I mean, he went for his throat there and was strangling him. Now really the 2 of them only got at the end of the day, you know, a yellow card or whatever. And if you look at Shearer here, You've got to, yeah. I mean,
it is, yeah. I mean,
it
does make you laugh, except those two players should have been in the dressing room.
Well, I think so. I mean, if the referee's going to do his job right, he's got to say, well, come on, lads, you know, we can't have this, and off you go and have an early bath. You know, and have a chat about it.
Lots of inconsistencies again with the referee.
Well, we've looked at it again tonight, Bob. We've seen, you know, the tackle from behind. We've seen this kind of thing. We've seen the whole thing. And referees, you know, are always getting a bit of stick at the moment. We're certainly not getting consistency, are we?
Yeah. Let's have a quick look at the quarter finalists.
Yes.
Those you'd pick out, obviously there are big names there, notably Liverpool, who will become the favourites after that win. Well, and Arsenal are still there.
Arsenal, three London teams which are terrific, you know, Millwall, Palace, Arsenal. So, I mean, that's good for the capital that they've got 3 teams in it. And also, when you look at it from the Ensley League, you know, we've got Millwall, Swindon and Bolton. So, I mean, it's good for the Ensley League, isn't it?
Yeah. It's a good quarter-final draw, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. I'm looking forward to getting up early for it, Bob.
We'll be up with you, Ian, as well. Well, now, the replay of tonight's drawn tie between Manchester City and Newcastle, that'll be featured on Carlton Sport in 3 weeks' time, when we'll also have a competition with the top prize of a trip for 2 to the Rugby World Cup next May to watch England. That's courtesy of South African Airways Holidays. Also looking ahead, there's a Champions League special on Saturday at 1:10, previewing next Wednesday's live game, an important one, of course, from Old Trafford between Manchester United and Galatasaray. The Saints' soccer skills, well, they can be seen again this weekend on Saturday and Sunday afternoons with Millwall versus Wolves, the Sunday match. That's at 2:45 live from the New Den. And as always, all the Ensley League goals on Monday night at 1:10 in Ensley League Extra. As for tonight, London clubs have fared pretty well. Defeat for West Ham, but convincing victories for Arsenal, Crystal Palace, and particularly so for First Division Millwall. From Ian and myself, good night.
And ducks and geese better scurry.
Or maybe not.
Who is the dog?
You are.
True Love at Last, Meg Ryan and Billy Crystal, When Harry Met Sally, Sunday at 9:10 on BBC One.
Are you comfortable?
Sure.
John Wayne stars in the late film here on BBC One now, and there's trouble for the Duke when his boys decide that they've got to do what a man's got to do.
Somebody's coming, Ben.
Yeah, how many?
Don't know, couldn't tell.
Just one. I think I know him. Hello, J.D.
Ben?
How you been?
So-so.